package in the mail, MSX games from Japan. Collecting without fail those shoot 'em ups, and that's the plan. He doesn't just collect them, he also codes them too. Join us and we'll go on electric adventures with you.
Hey YouTube, Electric Adventures here with another 5 MSX games from 5 different publishers. Once again, really enjoying this series because I'm getting to replay a lot of great games in my collection. So all these games are in my physical collection, and I have lots more. I've got over 600 MSX games, so this series could go on for a while and I can continue enjoying making them. So from our first publisher this time it's a direct published by Taito and distributed by Nidecom, sorry. And it's none other than Elevator Action. It's actually quite a well done version of the arcade game. It has most of the features from the arcade game, and the implementation on the console is actually on the computer is actually really well done. I've had this copy for quite some time, so I've played it on and off a fair bit. And I think in my gameplay I make it past the first level. That's not too challenging. The hardest part I find sometimes is getting lined up to going up and down the stairs. You sort of have to walk a little bit past and then walk back while pressing down, and sometimes it can take a little bit of you have to be pretty precise to get it. Going in and out the red doors is good. You've got to go in the red doors and find the various things so you can complete the level down below. But the main thing is to get down the bottom without getting killed and escape in your car. An actually really good fun game, really well done on the system, and yeah, one of my would be in one of my favourite games. I actually quite enjoy playing this one. Right, so for our next game, we're going to go... This is published by ASCII Corporation, and it's a Capcom title. There are 2 versions of this game, so we are strictly doing MSX1 games in this series so far, and it's 1942. So there is actually a 1942 MSX2 version. The MSX1 version here actually plays quite well. I've only had this MSX1 copy for a short period of time. I probably played this version of the game first with the, shall we say, lazy port over to the Coleco Super Game module, which is pretty much the same game. And it's actually, you know, for an MSX1 title, it's actually quite well done and includes a fair bit of the gameplay from the arcade. You think it's fairly easy to start with, but the difficulty sneaks up on you. And the levels are quite long, and you've got 42 areas you can play through. So I have to say, once again, I haven't had it that long, probably only 6 months, so I haven't played it through to completion, but I reckon if I persevered, I probably could. So that one is really highly recommended. Obviously play under emulation if you can. The copies are not too expensive. It did take me a little while to find a copy of this one. There's actually seems to be more copies of the MSX2 one around. And the packaging looks identical. It just has an MSX2 in red here, and the rest of it's all the same. Right, for our next publisher, we're going to go back to Sony. Sony brought out heaps of games for the MSX. They really supported the system well. This was brought out in the original Hitbit era, so it's labelled as Sony Hitbit, and it's none other than Choplifter. Choplifter was one of the, probably the second game I played for the Apple II back in my college days. I really enjoyed it as a game, and the MSX version is quite well done. Has lots of colour, uses sprites. So there is some flickering in there, but it handles the game quite well. The gameplay is quite good, and the difficulty level is reasonably balanced. Once again, Choplifter was never an easy game, but this version actually does quite a good job. And this is probably one of the original games that I played on the MSX back in the day in the store. I didn't have my own copy for a while, probably until the pirated discs did their rounds, but I've had this copy for probably about 6 years. And yeah, these are the smaller format ones. These were the size of the ones we mostly got in Australia, this size, when the Hitbit was launched. So really good game, well worth having a look at. Now, across to another publisher, prolific supporter of the MSX and produce lots of titles. We've already shown a few titles from them. This is Casio, a few quirky titles. So this is their take on, I suppose, taking the game Road Fighter and adding more to it. Maybe adding a bit of Spy Hunter elements in a game called Car Fighter. It's actually really well done. It's very hard though. I probably haven't played this one enough, and I get a little frustrated in this one. So you can both nudge, although that's very, very hard, but you can shoot, and you can shoot in multiple directions. The fuel pickups are very, very finicky. You've got to pretty much hit the fuel pickup precisely to get more fuel. That's the thing I struggle with the most. You'll see I don't get very far in my gameplay here. But it's one of those titles that's worth having a look at, and really is not an expensive title. Now, I'm not sure whether I've only seen the big box version of this one, so Casio games came in the small boxes, big box. This is the first big box one I've showed you. I'm not sure whether they double release their titles, but this one definitely in a big box. It's an earlier number, it's title number 18, thus probably why it's in the big box. So, well worth having a go at. Right, for our last game, we better do another Konami game, and we better go with one of my absolute favourites, and also one of the very original games I played for the MSX. I did struggle with this game to start with because it's a 2-button game, and we did not have access to 2-button joysticks, so I had to play this with the keyboard a lot. I even jury-rigged myself. I made myself my own MSX joystick with 2 buttons, but it wasn't very well set up for playing shoot 'em ups. So hopefully my gameplay here is a little better in modern times when I have a better controller. But it's none other than Gradius Nemesis, so called, this is actually a Japanese copy, but Nemesis, the first game is called on the MSX. It includes all the levels from the arcade. It's quite well done, graphics are well done. Obviously it's got the choppy scrolling, but once you get into the game, it really plays well. You've got all the power-ups, you've got lots of levels to work your way through. And as you can see, it's a 1 megabit ROM, so it's a big cartridge, lots of graphics, really good sound. This just uses the normal MSX sound. Later, Gradius Nemesis titles, which I'll cover in a later video, add an extra FM sound chip to take the sound even further. But this game is an absolute joy. Really pleased that actually interesting, when I got back into searching for MSX titles, I got a lot of 4 loose cartridges, and that included a loose copy of Nemesis. So that was my first foray back into MSX collecting when I got everything out again. So that's probably about 8 or 9 years ago. And I finally found this complete copy, which is not too bad condition. As you can see, I've got it in a box protector, probably about 2 or 3 years ago. And really pleased to have a proper copy in my collection and have a decent joystick so I can play it properly. And I really do enjoy this game. Not that I've played the real arcade game on an original machine. I've played it probably more under emulation, but I really have always enjoyed the arcade game as well. So a really good title that's well worth having a look at. Alright, I hope you've enjoyed this another 5 MSX games from 5 different publishers. I really am enjoying this series. I'm trying to pick quite different games each time. Obviously there's lots of shoot 'em ups because there are lots of shoot 'em ups on the MSX. It's one of the reasons why I like it as a platform. But don't worry, there's lots of other genres that we'll get into as we work our way through. I hope you're enjoying this video series. I'm Electric Adventures. Thanks to all my subscribers. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.